Hello snowboarders of the internet, I'm your host Avran LeFeber, and in this video we're going to be reviewing the Rossignol 1 snowboard. This board features Rossignol's 50/50 AmpTech all-mountain camber profile. So what that means is you get 30% rocker in the nose, 50% camber underfoot, and then a 20% rocker in the tail. So basically it's cam rocker. What you're going to get is the load, pop, snap, and drive of traditional camber underfoot, but you get that ease of entry in and out of turns from that rocker, as well as more optimal powder float and a better area for presses and butters. This board's available in 153, 156, 159, 157 wide, 161 wide, 165 wide. I rode this board at Copper Mountain on a day that was overcast skies, puking snow, about 4 inches had fallen the night before. You had chopped chunder, powder groomers, powder corduroy, ice. You could pretty much find a mix of all conditions, and I rode it with my Rome Black Label bindings and my K2 Thraxis boots. The overall flex of this board comes in just a hair past middle of the road. It's in that all mountain category, but it's on the slightly stiffer side. It's not plankish, but it's there. And it's got a consistently smooth flex to it. Now what you do get is a little bit more play in the nose because you have 10% more rocker out there, so you're going to be able to press that more. Stiffer section through the middle, and then the tail is about the exact same flex as the nose. It's just got that shorter rocker zone in there. Torsionally, you can twist this board and it will react and rebound exactly how you would think. Now, when you get into choppy, rutted out terrain, this board actually cuts through it and stays on top of it. It does a good job of damping every vibration that's coming up underfoot. And when you get at speed, you'll notice that you get a little chatter, but most of that is killed off before you hit the front foot. So you're not really gonna get that leg fatigue that you would get. Like I said, this board's smooth. It's a little bit more lively just because of the light rail technology in there that's used to just dampen. You'll notice that it does a better job of dampening those micro vibrations, but the bigger hits, it's a little bit more lively with. But overall, like I said, this is a consistently smooth board, and even though it's a little more lively, it stays on top of that chop and chunder. This board boosts. You load that camber up, you roll back on the tail, engage that rocker section, and it springs you. It's a very skate-like pop. You do not have to be calculated with it. You do not have to worry about setting it up at the last minute. And when you do load this up, you're gonna get a ton of pop. Like I said, this board boosts. So launch that side hit, ollie over that family of fat skiers that's having a family reunion in that blind roller, and pop off that pillow that you want. And when you go to jumps, don't worry if you're hitting small, medium, or large. Although with large jumps, you do want to land a little bit more bolts because you do have that rocker. This board will boost off the lip. You do not have to worry about it. If you're being laid back and you let the lip throw you, still gonna boost. Load it up and pop off the lip, you're going further, deeper, and higher. All right, so why don't you click like, because you enjoyed this video. Now while you're down there, click subscribe, click the bell, get those notifications, because you don't want to miss any of the videos we got coming out for you. The nose is going to be a little bit easier to butter on as you have a longer rocker section. You can roll up onto it or you can pop into it. Same thing with the tail. If you're going to roll up on it, you want to make sure that you get your weight really leveraged out more towards the up kick in the nose and the tail. That way you can press into it, because there's going to be a little bit of fight and you're going to notice that right outside the insert. So you want to make sure that that weight is over your nose or your tail. Now, if you're going to pop into it, basically you want to aim to land right where that up kick is, press in hard and have it hold, and just expect that fight. If you know how to butter, you're not going to have a problem with this. If you don't know how to butter it, you're going to have some issues with it. Now, when it comes to jibbing, this is not this board's forte. You want to kind of keep it more like that slope style jibbing where it's high speed, you're on the feature, you're off the feature. Yeah, you can do nose presses and tail presses with this. Like I said, with buttering, it's going to fight you. Expect a lot of pop out of the end of the feature. When you go sideways to do a board slide, it slightly cradles around, but there is a little fight, so you're kind of doing a balance board act. You just got to be aware of that it's probably going to give you some problems, and it may kick you a little more right or left depending on how your weight is on the board. This board can turn. You get power from that camber that lets you drive it off the tail, so you're gonna be able to slingshot it in and out of turns. So when you really load it up, drive your knee in, push down off that tail, you're gonna feel it. You're gonna have that power where you absolutely need it. Short, tight, quick carves and medium mellow carves are easy with this. The ankle steering is effortless. You basically go on autopilot and you can just guide this board with very minimal efforts. It's when you get up to speed, you're hammering out a deep hard carve, you can really lay this over, feel it lock in. It's aggressive. You're gonna be able to hold that carve to the very end, then pop it right back out, transition over to the other edge and do it right back across the run. If you wanna lay it over Euro carve style and drag your knees or your gungus, don't worry about it. You got it. You can just get down there, throw your hip and pelvis right into the ground and hump that snow and pop right back out. Rider in mind, the more directional leaning rad dad or someone that wants a board that's smooth, consistent, and has great pop to it, that's gonna be the one board for them to do everything with. Hey, if you like what we're doing over here and you want to support us further, swing on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP and become a member. Sure, I could tell you more here, but I got a video over there that explains it so much better. This is the version of the one that it should have always been. They kinda, when they tweak things with this board, it'll go from good to good to meh. This is great. Not good, great. I like the way that this rides. You don't have the super aggressive tip kick in this like you would with the Resurgence, so it's a little different when it enters in POW, so you do have to worry about that if, you know, you're riding a lot of POW, but if you're riding a lot of POW, you probably want a slashimi. But overall, for just a groomer cruiser board that you can take up to the top of the mountain, smash POW, go to the park, chase the kids around, do whatever, this thing is super solid. If you just have one board that can do it all, this is it. I really enjoyed this board, and my time on it was like, wow, they've really made this what it should. The light rail in the core is actually better than it's been in the past. It was a lot more damp. In previous years, they were like, oh, this is gonna just kill micro vibrations, and then you get on it and you're like, I got a lot of foot fatigue. You don't. This new camber profile where they put 30% more rocker in the nose is nice. I like this. It makes sense to me. It gives it a more directional twin shape that works. It really does. Overall, great board. Loved riding this thing. Comparable boards, the Borealis Artifact, the Ride Algorhythm, the Nidecker Escape Plus. Binding recommendations, the Rome Katana, the Ride C8, the Union Force. This has been my review of the Rossignol one. If you like this, but you're not sure if you want to buy it, why don't you go check out one of the videos for one of the other comparable boards.